So will you just tell people what the DSM is? Because lots of folks aren't therapists. They may not know what it is.
Yeah. And I just wanted to speak to what you said about my book. First of all, thank you. That means so much to me. And that's what I did was basically I decided, okay, I wish I'd known everything I found in the research that I did. And so I told my story and then sprinkled in surreptitiously everything people need to know in order to make more informed decisions about their mental health. So people who don't want to read any research, like it's just in there. And one thing I hear and that I love is people read it in a couple of days. Like it's just a really quick read, which is what I wanted. And that's remarkable considering how much research is in there that can get very dry. But I knew I wanted to communicate to people what the DSM is, which I didn't know either. I didn't know until I started researching the book. I mean, 25 years in the mental health system, and I'd never heard of what's called the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, otherwise known as the DSM. If your eyes just glazed over, don't worry. It's sort of how I felt, it's just like, it's sort of it sounds too technical, but all it is a book. It's a manual. And so it's a medical manual, or it's thought of as that for psychiatry. And in it are all the mental health diagnoses that we receive. And so to give you kind of a visual picture, on the top of the page will be major depressive disorder. And then underneath will be a list of symptoms. And you have to qualify for 5 of 9 symptoms. And that's kind of unimpressive, uneventful, certainly not controversial in any way. But what I didn't know is, unlike medical manuals in physical medicine, the diagnoses found in the DSM are not based on science. They are opinions. And that shocked me more than I can say. And it unsettled me. So if anyone listening feels unsettled and like, whoa, I don't want to hear this, I know how you feel. I identified very strongly with my diagnosis and as someone with a diagnosis. But essentially what it is it started in 1952, and a bunch of primarily white men sat around a table and came up with 128 diagnoses. And the book has since been revised. We've had 7 revisions now. And over those revisions, the number of diagnoses has increased. And so we now have 541 ways to be diagnosed. So 128 to 541. So it is designed to diagnose as many people as possible. And I didn't say that, actually, Robert Spitzer did. And he was one of the main guys who really was the architect of what we know of as mental health diagnoses. But to give you an idea of what I mean by their opinions, Robert Spitzer, when he was asked, why do you need 5 of 9 symptoms to be diagnosed with major depressive disorder? He said, it was just arbitrary. We went around the table and 4 seemed like too few and 6 seemed like too many.
Wow.
That is the same criteria we use today.